This one says, what x value can you plug in that will prove that square root of x squared equals x is not true for all real numbers? So you want to just plug things in and see if you can find one that makes this statement false. So let's plug into, we're going to work from the bottom up right here. So we're going to say, if I plug in square root of 2 squared, is that equal to 2? Well, 2 squared is 4, so I get square root of 4. Does that equal 2? Well, square root of 4 is 2, so I get 2 equals 2. Okay, well that one didn't prove it was not true. It proved it showed a true case, so that one doesn't really help me there. So let's look at another one. Let's try 1. If we plug 1 in, I get square root of 1 squared. Does that equal 1? I'm trying to find one that proves it not true. 1 squared is 1, so I get square root of 1 equals 1. And you know what? That's 1 equals 1, so that showed it was true. It was an example that showed it working, so that's also not what I want. Let's try 0. Square root of 0 squared equals 0. Well, square root of 0 squared is 0, so square root of 0 is 0, which is the same as 0 equals 0. Okay, another example where it works. It's not asking you for when it works, it's asking you for when it doesn't work. So let's try -1 now. Square root of -1 squared equals -1. Now watch this. Be careful on this one. When you are squaring -1, you're squaring both the negative and the 1. So that means you're taking -1 times -1. -1 times -1 gives you a +1. I move up here. That gives me square root of +1 equals -1. So does 1 equal -1? Nope, it doesn't work. So we found the value of x that can prove that this statement is not true for all real numbers. Now I want to point out one thing that's really important here when we're dealing with squaring and square roots and negative numbers, because it's something that students forget all the time. That there is a difference between -1, I'm not going to use a 1, I'm going to use a 3 here. There's a difference between -3 squared and -3 squared. This one means -3 times -3. Everything that's in the parentheses is what's getting squared, so it actually gives me a +9. This one, however, following order of operations, means first I take the 3 and I square it. This means -3 times 3. So the answer to that one is -9. So there's a huge difference between the quantity -3 squared and then -3 squared. In this one, you are squaring -3. In this one, you're squaring +3 and then putting a negative in front of it. Super important to know the difference.